Hey, Justin, I know your role on that team in 2018 was just totally different than what it is now, but you did get an opportunity
On 2019? I'm sorry,
28, 28,
2018.
2018 when you played Bama when you were still at Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a different role, obviously. It's more than just you coming in for a couple series or a couple snaps or so. But do you remember anything from that game? Because a lot of those guys still have a role. And I don't know, is there anything you can take from that and actually use it as experience for now?
I remember it. I mean, a freshman playing in that game, I was just like, I'm actually like in this moment. But that's pretty much the biggest thing I remember, of course, from that game. And of course, the few plays I went in. But I took a lot from that game, of course, playing Alabama and playing those guys. But yeah, just being at the stage, I feel like that's the biggest thing that I remember.
Next will be Andrea Adelson. Andrea?
Justin, I'm wondering, since you and Trey are both from Georgia, how well you all knew each other, whether you had a relationship or friendship before he got there, and just how you've seen him really turn things on the last few games.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've known Trey since my junior year in high school. We actually played against each other my junior year. He was a senior at the time. But I think we beat him. Yeah, we beat him by like 2 or 3 touchdowns. But yeah, I've known Trey for a long time. We have one of the same trainers that we've been working out literally together since probably like my senior year, junior, senior year of high school. So we've known each other for a long time now, for sure.
Next is David Hale. David?
Hey, Justin, I was actually just texting with your high school coach. He said to tell you Coach D says, hey. I remember talking to you before about when you were leaving Georgia and you had talked to Coach Day, but you had not yet actually set foot on campus at Ohio State when you committed there. And I know maybe the first week or two was probably not the easiest for you either. What was it about your connection with Coach Day that made you confident that you had made the right decision to go to Ohio State? And when did it sort of click that, like, yeah, this is going to work out okay?
I think the connection that me and Coach Day had from day one was genuine. Of course, everyone knows he's a great offensive-minded coach, and I knew that he was going to make me a better player, and that's all I was really worried about when choosing the school. So, and when I knew it was going to work out was the first touchdown scored against FAU during the first game of last year. So yeah.
Next, we'll have Michael Casagrande. Michael?
Yeah, Justin, what do you remember about that fake punt against Alabama, and do you still hear about that now it's 2 years down the road?
Nah, I don't really hear about it anymore. But all I remember is that I went on the punt. Everybody was yelling my name, and the punt didn't go the way we wanted to. So that's the only memory I have from that one play.
Next is Lane Higgins. Lane?
Hey, Justin. I'm not sure if this is something that's more instinctual or if it's something that you've worked on with quarterback trainers and coaches, but it looked like in the second half, after you had absorbed that pretty big hit in the Sugar Bowl, you kind of had adjusted some of your mechanics with your throwing, and you were, taking a bigger stride into the throw and, relying less on your upper body. Is that something that you've worked on with anyone specifically, or, how are you trying to manage that?
Yeah, I think it just comes naturally. Of course, when you're trying to complete a pass in a game and you might not have, all of the body parts working like you would, I guess, want them to. You would have to alter another thing, to get the ball where it needs to go. So I might have been altering my footwork or motion a little bit, but that was just, coming off of the injury. So of course I was dealing with that.
Yeah, and as a follow-up, did you tell your teammates to stop slapping you on the back when you're making big plays on the sideline?
Nah, I don't think they smacked me right there in the side, not right on the side, but of course, I think those guys were cognizant of my injury, so I didn't really get a lot of slaps or a lot of punches to the side.
Next is Justin Felder. Justin?
What's up, Justin? I'm with Fox 5 in Atlanta. I want to follow up on, I think it was Andrea's question from a minute ago. What more can you say about your relationship with Trey, how that's kind of grown? And have you guys kind of compared your journeys at all, starting out at other places, ending up here in the national championship game and being two Cobb County guys, you know, trying to play for a national title?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely crazy just seeing the position we are, where we are right now. But yeah, I've known Trey for a long time. He's always been a hard worker. But I think we'll talk about this in a few years from now. But I think right now we're more so living in the moment. So yeah, we haven't really, you know, look back on it. Of course, I tell him after every big game we win, I usually go up to him after the game and say to him, I told you that you should have came here. But yeah, other than that, that's all we talk about. We don't really talk about how this is, you know, all crazy and stuff like that. But I definitely think for sure down the line we will.
Next is Steve Hummer. Steve?
Yes, Justin, I guess under any circumstances, you'd be gratified to get to this game. But looking at the arc of this season, when you even had to speak out just so there'd be a season, being here, is that any more meaningful to you?
It's definitely more meaningful because this is where we wanted to be before the season even started and when our season got canceled. So I think, you know, all of the stuff we've done in the past, all of the workouts, all of the, you know, getting the games canceled, saying we're playing and saying we're not playing, you know, that messes with your mental. But, you know, just all of the stuff that this team has been through and all the stuff that everybody's been through here, it's just you know, a big sacrifice just for this moment. So we're just glad that we have the opportunity to play.
Next is Ralph Russo. Ralph?
Justin, playing off the question you had earlier about what you sort of what connected well with Coach Day, was there anything in particular about the offense or anything you remember talking, you know, hey, here's how we're going to play, that made you feel like, oh yeah, this would work for me?
No, not really. I feel like I'm able to adjust to, I guess, any kind of offense, but there wasn't, I guess, you know, one specific thing where, you know, what kind of jumped out at me. It was really just, you know, Ohio State's their success with quarterbacks on the college level, and, you know, just the amount of success that I would have under Coach Day and being able to learn from him. So, because of course he's been in the NFL, he's been to the level that I'm trying to go. So I've definitely learned a lot from him.
Next is Bill Rabinowitz. Bill? Bill, are you there?
Yeah, I just lost you for a second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, on your status, how you're feeling, how you think it might be affected. And if you want to clarify anything that you said after the game about how everything was handled.
Yeah, I think, you know, what I said after the game was kind of taken out of context. You know, I just want to make one thing clear, that is that I have, you know, my full trust is in the trainers here at Ohio State and Dr. Borcher. So I wasn't, you know, I guess hesitant on taking anything that they would give me, but I was just trying to do whatever I could do to get back on the field. And I think those guys handled it, you know, the way I would have wanted it to be handled. So I just put my full trust in those guys, and, you know, I see, you know, how they, you know, deal with guys here, and I have personal relationships with all of them. So I just don't want anything I said, you know, in the post game interview to kind of get taken out of context and just be like, oh, they just shot him up and sent him back out there. No, it wasn't like that. I think they did a full, you know, I guess, analysis of, you know, my injury and how it was, and they thought they did what they thought was best. So yeah, I was fully comfortable with that. But I'll be good come Monday night.
And you don't think you'll be affected at all?
I'll be good by Monday night.
Next, we'll hear from Brendan Gulick. Brendan?
Justin, I realize that the number of Buckeyes that have played for a national championship in their career is certainly an elite fraternity within your own program. Have you personally, or as a team, have any of you guys heard from former guys that have played for national championships, and have they shared anything with you that you could share with us?
No, I haven't heard anything from the recent players, but I'm sure I will hear some things from them, as we get closer to the game. But from this point, I haven't heard from anybody that's played in that game before.
All right, next is Austin Ward. Austin?
Justin, I know you're not going to talk specifically about how you're feeling, but Coach Day said that maybe on Saturday you woke up feeling better than you expected. When you went to bed, did you have any doubts about your body holding up well enough to get to Monday night?
Yeah, I think the day after the game, I woke up definitely better than expected, but the days that I didn't expect to wake up kind of hurting was 2 or 3 nights after the game. But I mean, I really haven't, thought about, how this injury is going to affect how I'm going to play. I'm just thinking about getting as much treatment as possible and trying to get my body right to 100% to be able to perform at a max level on Monday night.
Dennis Dodd. Dennis?
Justin, what did Northwestern do that night, and how much do you give them credit for how they approached your offense, and how much do you put it on yourself that night? And another question: do you ever check the amount of signatures on that petition? Because there's quite a few now.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you ever check the number of signatures on that crowdsourced petition that you started at the beginning of the season?
No, I mean, I stopped probably checking it when they said that we would have a season. At that point, that was the whole goal of it was to have a season. So after they said that we were able to have a season, I was, just fine with whatever number that was up there.
And time for one more here from Billy Witz. Billy?
Justin, hi. Just going back to what you were saying about the injury against Clemson. Was part of the discussion at all, about how well you could protect yourself? Just because you look like you were obviously played really well, but you weren't able to move like you probably normally.
So what's the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, was part of the discussions that you had with Dr. Borchers, and I don't know if the coaches, did it ever come up with not just a pain tolerance, but could you move around well enough to protect yourself?
I mean, I feel like me and Coach Day probably had some conversation about it, of what certain plays we could run and couldn't run. But other than that, if I can't protect myself, then I don't need to be out on the field. So I thought, in my head, I thought personally that I was able to go out there and protect myself if anything bad would happen.
And just going back to your last game in high school when when you got hurt and then you weren't able to go on. I don't know. Does that in any way, I don't know, I guess motivate you and just some of the injuries that you've had in college and just have played through, or is it just more just the types of injuries where that was something where it just really impacted how you could throw the ball?
No, not really. I wouldn't say that motivated me, but to be honest, I just look at injuries like it's a part of football. It doesn't matter who you are. You can get injured on one play and never be able to play football again in your life. But again, like I said before, it's what we sign up for. We know the risk coming into this. That's why we just try to I guess stay as safe as possible when we're playing the sport, and that's why we have rules set in place. But yeah.
All right, Justin, thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click on that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing, and come visit us over at BuckeyeGrove.com for all the best Ohio State information on the web.